Just want to do a little aside here. Calculators, division, and remainders. Okay? If you're dealing with your calculator and dealing with division and remainders, you're going to see different things happen. Let's take a look at what happens with the remainder when we divide and what your calculator may do in response to that. So let's say I have 47 divided by 11. So if I want to divide 47 by 11, I have 47 divided by 11. 11 goes into 47 4 times. 4 times 11 is 44. I subtract and I get 3, and I have a remainder of 3. So 47 divided by 11 is 4 with a remainder of 3. Now that's using long division. Well, your calculator tends not to give you 4 remainder 3. Depending what type of calculator you have, you may see one of these things happen. First of all, you may see it may give you a decimal response. So I'm going to put this in blue. So these are calculator outputs, depending on your type of calculator. It may give you 4.2727272727, and stop right there. It may give you something like that. Or it may give you another digit and round it. Okay, so you may see something like 4.2727272727 3. All right, so it rounds, because that would be a 2, 7. The 7 causes it to round to a 3. So there's a couple possibilities of what it can do. Also, depending on your calculator, it may, and Casios are famous for this, it may just give it to you as a fraction. So it says 47 over 11. And you're like, thanks a lot. That didn't help me at all. Well, the nice thing with that is that calculators that tend to do that, they also tend to have a button that allows you to switch that to a decimal. So many times on Casio calculators, that's an S to D button. And if you press that S to D button, then it will put it into decimal form. But still, that's giving you the whole part, and then it's giving you a decimal, not a remainder. So those are the main things that you see happen. But what we really want is we want this 4 remainder of 3. So how can we deal with that? Well, there's a few things you can do depending on the type of calculator you have. Most scientific calculators have a way for you to convert a decimal to a fraction or mixed number. But you have to find how that works on your particular calculator. So Google it, go on YouTube, look in the instruction manual for your calculator, and you will find how to force it to give you a fraction or a mixed number. Okay? But still, that's only going to give you a fraction or a mixed number. It still doesn't give you 4 remainder of 3. But you will find out that if it gives you a mixed number, that this 47 over 11 becomes 4 and 3/11. And we can see that that's 4 remainder 3, 4 and 3/11, which is really 4 remainder 3. Notice that was the divisor. We were dividing by 11. So whatever it puts in the numerator becomes your remainder. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work out if this fraction can be simplified. Meaning if you come out with something, if this had been 6/22, then we wouldn't have been able to leave it, we wouldn't be able to say the remainder is correct because it would have dropped it down to the 3 and make it not possible. And don't get yourself confused on that thing, but basically just believe me that your calculator may simplify this, in which case that doesn't give you the remainder. So what's your best bet for finding the remainder if you use a calculator? Well, I think it's pretty simple to do the following. My calculator gave me 4.2727272727, right? So we know that that 4, that whole part, is our answer, and there's going to be some remainder. So all I do is, with that number already in the calculator, I do minus, so I tell it I want to subtract, and what your calculator is going to do is it's going to look at that last number that was there, and I subtract out the whole part. And what's going to happen when I do that is it's now going to give me 0.2727272727. It's going to be sitting there like that. So now I just have that decimal part that's going to create my remainder. And then I multiply by the divisor 11. And if you take this 0.2727272727 directly from your calculator and multiply it times 11, you will find out that that is equal to 3. Now, if you don't know how to pull it in directly and you have to type that in, you go, okay, well, that's going to be 0.2727272727, and you go times 11, it may come out to 2.9999999 repeating. Well, we know the remainder is going to be a whole number, so we just round that to a 3. But I want you to be aware of what your calculator is going to give you, and please try it and see what happens. Plug in 47 divided by 11 and see what it gets. See, what does it show you? Does it show you a decimal number? Does it show you a fraction? Does it show it as a mixed number? See what your calculator does. See if you can force it from a decimal into a fraction and or a mixed number. And then see if you can get rid of the whole part and multiply it by that divisor and get the remainder you're looking for. So just a few things to play with your calculator to get used to how it works. One of the biggest problems that I see students have with doing mathematics is they don't know how to use their calculator properly. So it doesn't matter whether they know how to do the work, they don't know how to plug it into the calculator. And calculators work on a GIGO system. You may have heard of FIFO, first in, first out, FILO, first in, last out, things of that sort for inventory control and such. Well, calculators work on a GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know how to put the information into the calculator to tell it what to do, then it's going to give you the wrong answer out of the calculator. So just a little side note on calculators, division, and remainder.